This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or Iglesianicristo.
And good morning, everyone, and welcome to INC Radio Florida. I am just beyond excited today to talk about, to bring to you this topic that has been long requested here on INC Radio Florida. And we're not going to waste any time because we're going to jump right in and introduce to you our panel of moms. We are blessed today that we've got a panel of moms that are here to share their stories about everything from the chaos of starting with giving birth to your child all the way to the joy of eventually becoming a grandparent. But before we do that, we want to welcome, of course, everyone to the show. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're tuning in. And we're really glad that you're here. Please stick around. And we are going to really request that you please, if you have questions for our mom panel, or just want to say hi, please put them into the live chat that's on right now, and we'll do our best to be able to read all of your questions and introduce them to our panel. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and introduce our panel of moms, and we're going to start probably with our what we'll call our mom amateur. I don't even know if that's really a term or not, but to our newest mom here on the mom panel. Good morning, Sister Audrey.
Good morning, Brother Robert, and good morning, everyone tuning in. Yes, I am a new mom of a now toddler. I can't call him a baby anymore because he's officially 13 months in a few days. So a new mom and to a toddler, and also soon to be a mom of two under two, with the two of them 16 months apart. Yeah, 16 months apart. So any moms out there with experience, please drop any advice, life-changing tips, because we will need that in a few months here shortly. But yes, it's been a whirlwind of a year, and having just been shortly pregnant right after has been a great adventure.
Right. Well, and you're going to be in that special phase here very soon about having two under two, right? Is what they call
Oh,
it.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes. This exciting roller coaster.
All right, great. Well, great, Sister Audrey. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of questions. And this is a chance, obviously, for you to be able to ask questions as well to our more experienced moms on the panel. Next, I'd like to introduce someone you're probably pretty familiar with, whose name actually appears in the title of today's show, Sister Joy. Good morning.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Brother Robert. And yes, I'm a mama too. And I can't believe the season that I'm in. It's not until someone actually asks me. I'm a mom to a high schooler, to a middle schooler, and to an elementary kid. So like all those seasons, and I'm in a season of life, it's just, wow. It's not until someone finally just asked me, and I'm like, yeah, I have all of that. So it's fun. It's fun on most days. And then, so I'm looking forward to having some conversation today because I still have so much to learn. I don't know how I got this far. Who put me here? But yes, I'm excited to reflect back on what it was like to be in the season that, Audrey was in. And now I have some questions for our next guest on here.
Right.
Because I'm looking forward to maybe I'm looking for survival tips. how do we do this?
Well, the simple fact that she's here on the show means that you actually can survive it. So
okay. That's something to look forward to and be hopeful for. I'm glad.
we're gonna go then straight to one of our special guests that's joining us today after her 2-year hiatus of being a guest on the show. We'd like to welcome Sister Lulu, who I also like to call my darling wife.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good evening. I'm happy to be here. And I can share stories with you. I can share tips. I can share advice. So whatever you'd like to ask me.
You want to tell us a little bit about your role as a mom? How many kids you have?
Well, it started 35 years ago, so well, maybe more than that. it took me 5 years to have my first child. And I think it's because I wanted to know if I wanted to be married.
Well, how'd that work out for you 35 years later?
So after my first child, it's like that, that to me, finding out that I was pregnant was scary enough, because it's like, oh, what do I do? How do I do this? How do I take care of this child? Sometimes I can't even take care of myself. It's like, what do I do? And just to give you a little background, my dad used to be a volunteer worker, and he's passed on now. And I still remember all his advice about pray for everything. You pray for everything. God knows what you need and what you want, but you need to ask him. So, and that's when I did. I just prayed every day for this child to be a good child, because I was not a good child.
Mama, I have to ask you a question about that, because, right, you said it took you 5 years, okay, for the first one, right?
Yes.
To decide, okay, do I want to be a mom? Am I, I mean, it's funny because it's like we put that into our hands, like we have the decision, but like, you're like, am I worthy enough for this calling? Can I be a mama? And then you're finally in it, and then you're like, what do I do now? It's almost like you said you had 5 years, right?
Right.
To prepare for it. And then it comes, and then you're like, wait a minute. I thought I was ready for this. And then it comes, and you're like, what, those fears, those feelings are real, right? And that was just with the first one, because you have two, right? Did those feelings was that the same when you had the second?
Yes, I have to say yes. The first one was like it's a great fear. It's like, what do I expect, especially about giving birth? It's like,
Yeah.
I've never gone through this, so
Yeah.
that really scared me. And and stop reading what you see. That made me more, nervous. And then, but after going to our Lamaze class, it put some ease. And then I just kept praying about it, that, God, please be with me, because I can't do this by myself.
Oh, right.
And it's a scary thought. It's
It
like,
is.
am I going to survive through this? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And when the child is here, how? You don't get a handbook, to mothers. This is how you take care. No, you get books. Yeah, I get it. But each child is different.
It's totally different. I remember they're like, read this. And then, oh, read this. Oh, and did you know? And I'm like, you feel like you've got information overload. And then, you with utmost love, you have all these other mamas telling you, oh, this is what you need to do.
Yes.
Oh, why are you eating this? I'm like,
yeah. And the other moms will tell you, oh, you should do this. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Or you should do this. Do what you feel is right for you. And you're doing.
I think you said a really good one. I mean, our values hold us close to this. Prayer just gets you through that.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, Audrey, I mean, what's going on? I mean, this is a second time for you. Are you feeling that?
I truly, like, I don't know if you can tell by my face, I'm in survival mode. I mean, it's almost like you kind of have to just take it truly like a day at a time. I mean, especially if you're juggling multiple things, right? So if you're going to school, if you're working full time, if you are trying to care for your family as much as you can as the secondary caregiver, right? So it's like every day, and then you have a toddler who's just discovering the world in different platforms and all planes. So he's turning things over that probably shouldn't be touched in the first place. He's putting things in his mouth that definitely don't belong there. And at the same time, it's like you also want to expand that while your body is in full gear and working like an athlete. So it's been like a, just to keep from losing your peace of mind. It's almost like, okay, let me get through my morning, let me get through lunch, and then let me get through evening. But I mean, like, and that's the beauty of, because I would love to ask Mama Lou, because nowadays we have such an open platform of and access to resources of the internet, YouTube here, where most of you are viewing us from, and other moms being able to put their voices out on that platform. How did you filter resources
Mhm.
when you were becoming a new mom? Because I can't imagine not having something at the tips of my fingers to look through or read through and just decipher.
We weren't that fortunate. All we had was the books.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're going back to back in the, what is it, dinosaur age. And we had nothing. All I had was that book. I can't
Mhm.
remember it now what it was called. And then you've got moms in one ear, moms in the other ear,
Yeah.
and they're just going at you. And then I said, you know, I sat down and I said, let me just think about this. I said, you know what? I'm going to do what I think is right for me.
Mhm.
And then they also want to know names. Like, do you have a name? I mean, I have a lot point. Like when I was pregnant with Kat, it's like, what do you have a name? And I already had a name, but I didn't want to share that with them because I know I'm going to be judged. I said, why don't I just be judged right now and tell them I'm naming her Bonnie Blue? If they're Bonnie Blue, I said, well, go ahead, judge
But
me.
you ever notice how like everybody wants to be polite? Oh, that's such a cute name.
Yeah.
Instead of what you do.
And they would be like,
Yeah.
what? Bonnie Blue? And then, back then filters were not
Mhm.
available.
They
So
didn't
they
exist.
tell you, yeah, oh, you're getting too big. You're only 6 months. You look like you're about to give birth.
Mm.
Or now people are more polite and I love it. But that is what made me to be tough because I've got so many ridicule, so many, people were judging and why are you having a child so late in life? It's what God gave me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's
Like,
true. Yeah.
Pat came 9 years after RJ. Oh, should I be saying their name? Should we?
Yeah, no, it's still the protection of
Kennedy
the names are already out there.
And
But
they're so popular.
well, and that's true. She brings up a good point because we waited 5 years before we had children. So that whole point of waiting to get to know each other and kind of go through that, where in many marriages today, giving birth or having children is so much earlier in the marriage, like within a year or so after marriage, and having them younger for a period, and then now it's kind of transitioning again. It's so weird how it's a cycle, right? There was a time when people were having their babies at 23, 24, and then when we had it, she and Sister Lou and I were both
Don't say
close to
my
being
age.
Watch
being
out.
29, both close to being
If you
29
want me
ish.
to come back on the show, don't say my age.
That's another show
Another
for
2 years.
itself.
Another 2 years, but and then waited another 9 years, as she said. So I'll let the audience do the math since I'm not allowed to say ages here. But now we're noticing that younger couples are waiting longer again. They're waiting till they're close to 30 in their late 20s to have children. And when you do that, so I have a question actually for Audrey. When this is your second pregnancy,
Mhm.
and so you had Jamie now a year and a month ago. What are the differences? And I say this specifically because in our district, ironically, we have a lot of expecting moms. A lot of expecting moms in the district of Florida. I don't know what's in the water here. I don't know if it's the humidity, so it's too hot to go outside. I don't know why, but we have a lot of expecting moms here. And look, I have a question. Did you notice a vast difference between your pregnancy with Jamie than your pregnancy with the as of now, unnamed?
Well, and going to the names, feel free to name it's going to be another boy. So feel free to call him whatever you want before RJ and I decide to say, okay, this is a sound we want you to make to get his attention. So full disclosure.
So,
But
okay, so between Jamie and baby Charlie,
sure.
has there been? Do you notice a difference in how you're responding to this pregnancy?
Oh yeah. I think, well, so full disclosure, this would technically be my fourth pregnancy. I had two losses prior to RJ, which RJ, ooh, Jamie, sorry. No, to Jamie. Thanks, RJ. But I had two losses prior to Jamie being born. So the process of pregnancy alone was just, I mean, leading up to us being positive for Jamie's pregnancy, it was a lot of anticipation. And I think it just felt like such a stretch because everything was so new. And so including the losses. And so, you know, having to space it out and the timing, as much as as much as you'll get advice with when to time out pregnancy, two big things I took away from moms who I reached out to and I talked to. God's timing is always going to be perfect, right? And so he's always going to give you exactly what you need at the time that he wants you to have it. And then the second part of that is babies will come when they want to come and when they're ready. And so anticipating Jamie felt like such a big stretch. With baby boy number 2, it was almost like, oh my God, we just figured out how to use our legs. And now you're asking us to drive like a moving truck. So it was, as far as the feel and then anticipating this pregnancy, it was a beautiful surprise. And I think because I have my brain full of being wife, being mom, being pregnant mom, and school, work, and of course being active with my faith. It's a lot of compartmentalizing that I think took me away from like, oh, am I feeling nauseous this morning? Or can my pelvis get me from the bathroom to the bedroom? So it's I feel like I have more energy, but I think it's just because my life is filled with moving blessings right now, and that's where my
I was going to say when you talk about having more energy, is it because you feel like now that you've gone through it that you are doing more now because you know that you can tolerate it, that your body's capable of doing it versus when you were first pregnant, where you're always kind of tentative and like, should I be doing this? Should I be eating this? Should I be whatever?
yeah. I think I definitely indulged in the cravings way more this pregnancy. And that's just because
Okay.
and that's okay. I let myself have a pumpkin spice latte decaf every morning since it came out in August. So it's I letting yourself just kind of expand because your body will tell you what you need. And I surely hope baby boy loves the fall things because that's what we've been indulging on lately.
That's
So
awesome.
it's yeah, I think it's part like my body's already ready for it while I'm not nearly as like heavy lifting or active like as far as my gym programming goes. I'm more active, like your body's set up for success for the next one. So that's the hope.
That's great. Well, enjoy. I've got it because your name is in the title. So I incidentally, I have got to ask you, being a mom of 3 kids at various stages of being in school, right? So now you're the mom for a middle schooler, an elementary schooler, a high schooler. For you, what are some of the most like watching them grow through these different phases? What do you bring has brought joy into your role as a mom? What's probably the key thing that just gives you the sense of joy and satisfaction and accomplishment?
It's funny because one of the kids asked me this the other day, but they asked me in a way, what was my favorite age? And as a mom, I'm going to reflect on my momhood. and I mentioned this. My favorite and just reflecting on the state on this this current season of life that I'm in momhood. So when I say that I have a high schooler and a middle schooler, and an elementary, my high school and middle schooler, they're actually kind of close in age, kind of similar to Audrey. They're 18 months apart. So I just reflect and I remember when they were like young, like I'm thinking like when my oldest was probably like 6. So then 6, 7, like when they were around that age. And I remember having the 3 of them. And for those of you who know, Brother Billy, my husband, he's a first responder. So I had to do a lot of things, and I still do a lot of things, just me and the kids. It's always me and the kids, me and the kids, me and the kids, and toting around, like a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and then, like a little toddler around. It can be, it was tough. And I remember like when I would take them out and then we have to go to the bathroom, I had to take all 3 of them with me. I had to be a carrier, but I remember at that time, it was hard. It was so hard, but you got to do it. You just got to do it, to survive. And as you say that, what makes me kind of look forward to it, I miss that time, y'all. I do.
Oh,
I do. And I almost got emotional when one of my kids asked me, I was like, I miss that. I miss the chaotic grocery runs, because I could actually take them. Now no one wants to come with me, but like, you guys want to stay home? Okay, I'll go do the grocery shopping on my own. But like taking them, I remember like just coming out of the bathroom and then someone's like, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, we were just there. We have to go back. But I miss that. And I think that's what kind of keeps me going now. And it kind of helps remind me that, just embrace it, embrace this season. And I don't know how I got through it. Well, actually I do. I know how I got through it. Like Mama Lulu said, we pray and it's that's your survival, right there. That's what you got to do. We just prayed to get through it. And y'all, if I got through it that way, I think anybody can get through it.
It's about surviving. That's what we were just talking about, right? And I think in going, because you brought it up, about the chaos of motherhood, but there's also sometimes joy to be found in chaos. And so I want to send this over to Sister Lulu and ask a question that I think every mom shares a story or some experience about this absolute chaos of their children, whether they were toddlers or maybe when they're a little bit older. And then obviously from that chaos, as we look at it today, of course, that's where the joy is. Is there like one specific story in your mind that sticks about something that was just absolute chaos at the time, and then now when we look back at it, it's kind of a chuckle?
It's now it's a big chuckle, but not for me, because I was working and my son, he was only maybe, I would say 16 months. And then I had my
by son, you mean RJ, right? Is that what you're talking about?
yes,
the 30-year-old.
my
Definitely 30.
My kids lecture me because they tell me I'm the adopted one because I'm so different. It's like, I don't get it. Well, I had my back turned and all I could smell was this really bad stench. And I'm like, I said, what? And I turned around and he's holding up his hands and it's got digging in his diaper. The next room had painting with his whatever he had on his, what he had on his hands, poop all over. It took me the whole day to clean that. And, oh my gosh! Robert wasn't there. He was out of town away on business. So it was just me and RJ. And it's like at that point, I'm like, do I kill this child now? I don't know. Do that. And, oh my gosh. And everything I touched, like my exercising machine, every time I put it up to my nose, oh my gosh. I'm like, like I said, it made me become more tough in life. But I commend you, Sister Joy. You had all three. I had one at a time, but still starting with one, and then 9 years later, I get another one. I have to start all over.
Yes, that reset.
Yeah, you have to reset.
But this one, you had to keep everything in your diaper. Yeah, this one you had to keep everything in your diaper. Didn't decide to display it throughout the house.
Well, no, I have to say it's easier to train the kids than your husband. You can't change them, no refunds, no nothing.
That's a different show. That one's gonna be a different show.
I think that might be a show coming up.
It's very closely related because having kids will test your marriage. Will it not?
It really does.
Exactly.
You pray for it, you want it together, and then it happens, and you're like,
Well,
Yeah, and it's like, okay,
I tell my wife,
how well do we work together?
Yes,
Like at my lowest battery and at your lowest battery, can we still meet in the middle
yes.
somewhere?
Oh goodness, I think that is definitely something we've got to talk about again because
you just take a deep breath and just push forward because there's just
push forward. That's dangerous.
pushing, that is part of motherhood, right? So okay. So, and I think Sister Joy, because I know we're down to like the last 4 minutes. I know you had a question that you wanted to ask Mama Lou.
Gosh,
also.
yes. This is like a burning question I have. So, Mama Lulu, now that you are like in being a grandmama, are you the same mom that you were when you were when you were in that season of just being mom, not mama? You don't have the title yet. Are you the same person? Because I know my mom is not the same person. So
1,000%. 1,000%.
Okay.
no, I'm not the same person. It was like Jane could do no wrong, and Kat sees it, so she gets a little jealous, and I can't explain it to her because she's not a grandmother.
It's a good thing she doesn't watch a show.
Wait a minute, why?
She's not watching. It's just things that they do. They spill something. Oh, Jamie, with Kat, why did you do that? Oh my gosh. Now looking back, it's like, where did my patience go? Now I have like so much patience, and I don't know where it comes from, but I think it's because you treat your grandchild differently than you do your kids. I mean, I used to always spank RJ, and my dad would tell me, don't spank him so much. Well, I'm glad I did. Look how he turned out. Like they say,
Thank you.
Yeah, you thank Mama Lou for that, Audrey. It's okay. So because we are, as you know, the fastest 30 minutes on radio. So we're down to the bottom of the hour, and I know this conversation can probably go on for another
yes, I still have more questions.
minutes to an hour, and we are. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up having a part 2 of the Mommy Chronicles, and we're going to continue this conversation. But I do need to read at least one chat that we had. It's from Keith Daphne, who happens to be also from here in the District of Florida, says, they said for us women, you'll never understand what your mom went through until you experience it yourself. And now that I'm a mom, I'm so thankful and more appreciated by my mom's sacrifices for me. And I think that is very well put, because it's true in every aspect, right? That you never know until you put yourself in those shoes. And I'd like to thank all of our moms that joined us here today. I'd like to thank, of course, all the moms that are here in the District of Florida who are about to be moms or moms again, because obviously without you, we wouldn't be here. And we wanted to also thank you, our panel, for sharing your insight, your stories. We're going to definitely do this again here on INCRadio Florida. So Sister Joy, that's there in Orlando, Sister Audrey, who's here in Tampa, and Sister Lulu, who's here really, really close to me here in Tampa. And we'd like to thank, of course, our audience and everyone who's joined us today. Please stay tuned, because coming up next is INCRadio Washington, D.C. I almost forgot who they were for a second. INCRadio Washington, D.C. I'm having mom brain. Stay tuned and join us next week here at INCRadio Florida.